Hey, Corbin, I'm curious what you're seeing out of your teammate, Alec Thomas, and just, what is he doing better or different that's allowing him to hit this well here in the postseason?
Yeah, I've got to see him since 2020, play with him. And, I've always seen kind of that ability to drive the ball, a special ability to drive the ball, especially the other way. And, to see it come out right now, on the big stage in this way, it's, just as a friend, it's just, it makes me so happy to see.
And just related to that, obviously you guys were at the alt site and, gone through all of this. Do you remember a conversation with him from that time of, this is where we'll be someday, and here you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Those conversations would absolutely take place in 2020. It was us two and Dominic Fletcher as well there, and it'd be like, how cool would it be if all three of us were in the outfield one day together? And I think there was a period this year where all three of us were on the active roster, and just those are cool memories to look back on.
On the left side.
Last year, the Phillies snagged a wild card spot late and then ended up in the World Series. This year, for you guys, as the second half evolved and you're in the thick of things in the wild card picture, how much of a sense was there of, okay, let's just get into the playoffs and then anything can happen after that?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That was, I think, outright said a couple of times, right? Like, you don't have to be, if you're playing good baseball in the playoffs, we've seen it before, like, stuff can happen. And, that race for us kind of going down to the end there, it was just exciting to come out in the top half of that and, realize that we were going to have a chance to do this thing.
When it was said outright, who would be the one saying it?
I can't quite remember, but definitely was one of the thoughts out there.
Over here towards the middle.
Hey, Corbin, I'm curious what you've seen of Gabby Moreno this season from the acquisition being getting him in a trade last year. He started a little slow, got hurt, and now he just looks like the player everybody thought he was going to be. What have you seen? What's been the biggest change in him?
Yeah, I think just fully healthy and early on, maybe playing a little bit less, right? Just kind of getting into the routine of playing every day. And having that rhythm, and he's a special player. We hit together a good amount this off season, and you could see it right away. I enjoy watching him and his process, and even his cage work is fun for me to watch. It's just it's a special approach, special bat to ball, and then you can't say enough about what he does for us on defense as well, and controlling the run game and throwing guys out.
What is that approach specifically that is so special, or what makes it so special?
Yeah, really his ability to use the right half of the field. It seems like he can almost place the ball where he wants it over there, and it kind of reminds me that the only other guy that I've felt that same way about it. Lourdes has a little bit of that to him too, but Wilmer Flores, I remember he was rehabbing with us in 19, and he just seemed to have that ability to place the ball.
Teo on the left.
Corbin, it seemed like in the last game in Arizona, you were starting to really impact some baseballs, kind of in the way we saw in the wild card series and in the divisional round. What was there something that was starting to feel better for you in those at bats, and if so, what was that?
Yeah, a little mechanical thing that I cleaned up that felt gave me some some freedom up there and just some quickness. So hoping to roll that over until today.
Which coaches did you work with on that?
All 4 of the hitting coaches.
Okay, last one's for Corbin. Nick?
I think wasn't it your last at bat of game 4 too? You hit that ball to center real well. Was that just an adjustment you made prior to game 5 that you're talking about, or have you been getting closer?
No, prior to, or just for yesterday's game, had a focus or a cue that I thought worked well for me, and I think when you feel a sense of freedom up there, that can give you some confidence, and that in turn, just everything kind of starts to fall into line. And again, just hoping to take that from then and keep that rolling today.
In the middle.
Corbin, just to circle back on Alec on the defensive end, the defensive metrics have him one of the best outfielders in baseball this year. Just take me through what he does, what allows him to be so impactful at that end of things.
Yeah, I think to talk about that, you've got to go back to him as a little kid shagging balls in the outfield for the Sox, right? It's exactly that. It feels like he was kind of like raised out there or born out there. Just some innate abilities. I think you could also talk maybe a little bit about like the football aspect of him, and like that ability to kind of anticipate the fence and just have that, proprioception, and that ability. That's something that I've seen for years now, and it's special.
All right, thanks, Corbin.
Brandon. During the game the other night, Rob Thompson was interviewed mid-game, and he thought, well, maybe they could get to you, second or third time around because they hadn't seen you before. He was emphasizing the unfamiliarity aspect of it. Obviously, without revealing any secrets, have you been working on any sequencing adaptations or changes to kind of make sure that they don't feel too familiar with you tomorrow?
Compared to the first time? I think, no, we'll probably can't really reveal my whole game plan. That's kind of a secret, but we're just going to keep attacking them, keep being aggressive, and be cautious of the home run hitters. I know that's been a problem, and try to work the game plan around that.
Jesse in the front.
Brandon, if you do get the opportunity, just what would it mean to you to be on the mound, with a chance to give your team a ticket to the World Series?
It'd mean a lot. I think being in the position to start Game 7, I think that'd be huge, especially as a rookie. And I think I'm going to give it my all, give it all to the team, and try to come out with a win tomorrow.
Teo?
Brandon, is it weird at all preparing for a start, going through all your routines and everything for a start that you don't know if it's going to happen?
Yeah, I've never done that before, honestly, and we're just kind of treating it like there's guaranteed a game tomorrow, and we're going to be ready for any circumstance to play tomorrow, and that's kind of how my game planning's going. Just treating it like that's a guarantee. No, I don't think so. Not that I can recall.
In the back.
Hey, Brandon, 2 questions for you. The first is, what has been the biggest difference for you these last couple starts versus, middle of the season? And then, I'll answer that first, and then I'll give you another one instead of.
Yeah, I think just it being more meaningful games. I think you game plan a little more. You have a little more edge going out there, and that it's a must-win game. I think that's where the competitive nature comes in, and I think that's kind of my only answer to for the results that have happened.
Okay, that just spurred another question. Is it that hard to replicate the meaning of these games in the middle of the season? to get you to lock in that much more?
I'm kind of confused on your part. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying is you can't just turn on the meaning of a game in the
compared to
middle
the regular season
Right.
games. I think that's kind of, you want to treat them the same, but at the end of the day, it's more important. I think, like I said, that's where competitive nature comes out, and you're ready to roll in these postseason games a little more for your team, not only for yourself but for your team. I think that's kind of the difference there.
Okay, and the actual second question is, what's the most impressive thing to you about Gabby Moreno?
There's a lot of them. I said it before. When you watch Gabby play, it's like he's not a rookie. You would think he's a multi-year vet, and the way he plays, the way he calls a game, the way he just, his presence back there behind the plate, he's incredible. I think he's got all the tools at the plate and behind the plate, and I think the most impressive is holding runners and being able to throw them out at any time.
Anything, Nick?
Brandon, where do you feel like your confidence level is right now, and how does that maybe like manifest itself in results?
I think my confidence is pretty high. I try to keep it pretty steady. I think that's kind of where people struggle, is when their confidence dips too low or too high. So I've always been taught to keep it even keel, and that's kind of the way I try to keep it. So I'd say it's high right now, but I try to keep it the same throughout the whole season and in the postseason.
Tayo?
How do you do that after 2 games like you just pitched? How do you not just like feel on top of the world with the way that you're pitching?
I don't know. It's just kind of, I think, repetitions and having those downfalls and then having the uprising. I think you kind of learn to keep it even keel, and that's kind of how I was raised and how I was taught going from high school to college to pro ball.
Alex?
Hey, Brandon, have there been times this season where Zach and Merrill have helped you either with advice or helping with certain pitches?
Yeah, pretty much the whole year. Right when I got called up, I tried to pick their brain. I'm kind of a visual learner anyway, so I'll sit down there and watch their bullpens and just see how they do their work. And I know I've said it before, but I asked Merrill a few things, like some tips on game planning. That's what I've used to kind of up my game and up my routine going into starts, and asking both of them questions. I think it's been awesome, and having both of those guys be able to lead not only myself but other guys, other rookies, and they've been great.
Hey, last one's for Brandon.